Welcome to the Right Sword with Taro. Today we are going to be speaking on a very important topic. In our various walks of life, we come across different types of information, and especially if you are in a position that in one way or the other require accessing personal information of people, then you must know how important data protection is. Of sensitivity towards financial data, health information, criminal records, education qualification, or religious or political beliefs is really personal, and so such piece of information requires some level of protection against unauthorized use. I'd like to explain this whole concept with a story to give you a better understanding. I attended a certain institution in Nigeria, and I am not going to be revealing the name of the institution. A friend who was in that same institution called, and during the conversation said, "Oh, I saw your file today at the office." I knew certainly well that my friend was not an administrator of any kind in that said institution, and so I asked the circumstances in which my file was assessed. And I got to find out that the officer in charge of the document asked my friend to search for his file when he requested to access his file. And the way the files were stored, he basically had to sift through hundreds of files to locate his, and it was in that process that he had access to my file. Bear in mind that my medical history, such as physical or mental health condition and other private information, are all contained in the file. Now, from my story, you can tell that private information was accessed by an unauthorized person without the consent of the owner. That is the first part, okay? Now, a key aspect of personal data is the context in which the data was accessed and used. So some academics might say it's not just about the data itself, the manner in which such data flows from one person to another and how it is stored to guarantee security is more vital. Regardless, it could be very disappointing when information that require confidentiality is being given access to people that would ordinarily not have had access to such information. Wherever you are working and whatever legitimate business you own, be very conscious of data protection. Now, I think the law should be a good guide. In Nigeria, the industries are regulated, and so industries like telecommunication, health, legal, etc. are guided by specific legislations to prevent the misuse and mismanagement of personal data. Now, this year marked a special regime of data protection for Nigeria because the National Information Technology Development Agency announced the enactment of the Nigerian Data Protection Regulation in January this year. It's been considered as a good development because it requires all organizations, whether public or private, to ensure that their data protection policies are in accordance with the regulation. This regulation provides a framework for data processing, which at all times requires consent of the owner, data security, which gives minimum requirements for keeping data secured. Bear in mind that this encompasses whichever means the data is secured, whether electronically or in a physical office room. In terms of physical security, it is important to control the number of staff that have access to sensitive information and the storage room where such data are held. And even when staff are given access, they should be subject to non-disclosure agreement to avoid data breach. Also, from the point of electronic communication, there should be safeguards against intrusion of client-customer privacy, such as using password or encryption. Some of the exceptional circumstances in which data can be disclosed is when it is required by law or consent is obtained. The summary of today's discussion is that personal data preserves the right to privacy. It requires adequate level of protection, so always keep sensitive information safe. Don't forget to subscribe and please share your thoughts on this topic. See you next time.